Here's something that'll surprise most business owners. Having 10,000 followers on Instagram doesn't guarantee even one of them will see your next post.
I watched this happen to a client last year. 22,000 followers, consistent posting schedule, and then overnight, their reach just collapsed. They were panicking.
What caused it?
The algorithm changed. Every major platform, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, they've all moved from follow graph to interest graph recommendation. Your followers don't guarantee reach anymore. The content itself has to earn distribution.
So the follow button is basically decorative now?
Pretty much. The platform tests your content by showing it to a small group, watches how they react, then decides if it deserves wider distribution. It's all about engagement signals.
Which signals matter most?
Dwell time and completion rate. Those carry more weight than likes across all the major platforms now. If someone watches your video all the way through or spends 2 minutes reading your post, that tells the algorithm way more than a quick double tap.
That changes everything about how you should create content. You're not optimizing for a quick reaction anymore. You're optimizing for sustained attention.
And here's the other piece most people miss. Transformer-based recommendation models now infer your topic from the content itself. Niche consistency matters more than hashtags.
Wait, so if I run a bakery and I post about bread one day, then randomly post about my vacation the next day, the algorithm gets confused about what I'm actually about.
It doesn't get confused. It just won't push your content to people interested in baking because your account doesn't consistently signal that topic. The algorithm wants to match content to interest, and if your content jumps around, you dilute that match.
This feels like a lot of pressure to get right, especially for small businesses that are already stretched thin.
It is pressure. Over 65% of small businesses are investing in new growth initiatives this year. The competition is intense, but the flip side is that if you understand how these systems work, you can compete with bigger brands without a massive budget.
Before we get too deep into social media tactics, what does smart business growth actually look like in 2025? Because I imagine some businesses are trying to run before they can walk.
You have to understand your current position before implementing any growth strategy. Trying to scale prematurely kills more businesses than bad marketing does.
What does that assessment involve?
You need to look at customer behavior, identify market trends, and observe operational performance. Those 3 things drive smarter decisions. If you don't know where you are, you can't figure out where to go next.
And then what? Once you've assessed, what's the first actual growth strategy?
Market penetration. It's fundamental. You increase profitability by reaching more of your target customers in the market you already serve. You're not trying to invent a new product or enter a new geography. You're just getting better at serving the customers who already need what you offer.
That sounds simple, but how does that connect to social media traffic? Because most small business owners I know feel like they're shouting into a void on these platforms.
Because they're usually doing organic social without any amplification. And organic alone is slow.
But you just told me the algorithm rewards good content. Shouldn't organic work if the content is strong?
It can, but it takes time to build momentum. Organic builds trust and long-term brand equity, but it doesn't give you immediate reach. Paid advertising brings velocity.
So you're saying everyone should just pay to play?
No, I'm saying the data shows brands that use integrated strategies, combining paid and organic, see up to 60% higher ROI than brands that rely on just one or the other.
60% is a big number, but I'm skeptical. If organic content is good enough to earn reach, why would you need to pay to boost it?
Because attention is fragmented and ad costs keep rising. In 2026, you're competing with millions of other pieces of content every single day. Paid gives you the initial push to get seen, and if your content is good, organic takes over from there.
So the paid ad is like a kickstart, and organic is the engine that keeps running after the ad spend stops?
The combination creates a flywheel. Your organic efforts benefit from paid amplification, and your paid campaigns gain credibility from an established organic presence.
Okay, But let's say I'm a small business owner with a limited budget. How do I decide how much to spend on paid versus how much effort to put into organic?
It depends on your goals. If you need immediate results, a product launch, an event, a time-sensitive promotion, paid is non-negotiable. If you're building for the long term and you have patience, you can lean more heavily on organic.
But most businesses need both immediate results and long-term growth.
Which is why the integrated approach wins. You're not choosing between speed and sustainability. You're using both to reinforce each other.
Here's what I don't get. Everyone talks about SEO like it's some magic bullet. But all the social media traffic in the world doesn't matter if your website isn't set up to capture it.
SEO is the foundation. Without it, even the most insightful content gets buried in search results. A strong SEO strategy ensures your content reaches the right audience at the right time.
What's insane to me is that 27% of small businesses still don't have websites. How are they even competing?
They're not. If you don't have a website, you don't exist in search. You're entirely dependent on social platforms, and we just talked about how unpredictable those algorithms are.
So if I'm starting from scratch, website first, social media second.
Website first, but not just any website. You need on-page SEO, meta tags, keyword-rich headers, internal links. The goal is a conversion-ready site that drives measurable results, not just a digital business card.
And then you drive traffic to that site through social and paid ads.
And through content marketing that's optimized for search. Instead of writing broad content, you optimize for specific, targeted queries. That improves discoverability.
Give me an example of the difference between broad and targeted.
Broad is how to grow your business. Targeted is how to increase bakery sales in a small town using Instagram. The second one is way more specific, which means less competition in search and a higher chance you rank for it.
But doesn't that limit your audience?
It limits the size of the audience, but it increases the quality. You'd rather have 100 people who are exactly your target customer than 10,000 people who are vaguely interested.
That ties back to what you said earlier about market penetration. You're not trying to reach everyone. You're trying to reach the right people.
And that's where data-driven decision-making comes in. You can't just guess who your target customer is. You need to observe behavior, track engagement, and adjust based on what actually works.
Which brings us back to those algorithm signals. If dwell time and completion rate are what matter, how do you create content that maximizes those?
You hook people in the first 3 seconds, deliver value quickly, and structure the content so they want to see it through to the end. Think of it like a good story. You need tension, payoff, and a reason to keep watching or reading.
That's a lot harder than posting a pretty photo with a caption.
It is. But the pretty photo doesn't work anymore unless it also delivers value. The algorithm doesn't care if your branding is beautiful. It cares if people engage with it.
So what's your take? Is this algorithmic shift good or bad for small businesses?
I think it's good if you're willing to learn. It levels the playing field. A small business with great content can compete with a big brand because reach isn't bought through follower count anymore. It's earned through engagement.
But it also means the rules keep changing. What works today might not work 6 months from now.
That's true. But the core principles stay the same. Create content people actually want to engage with. Be consistent in your niche. Use data to guide your decisions. If you do those things, you can adapt when the algorithm shifts.
If I'm a business owner listening to this, what's step 1 tomorrow morning?
Assess where you are. Look at your customer behavior data. Identify what's working and what's not. And be honest about your operational performance. You can't fix what you don't measure.
And step 2.
Pick one platform where your target customers actually are and go deep on it. Don't try to be everywhere at once. Focus on one platform, optimize for dwell time and completion rate, and test what resonates.
What about the businesses that are already doing organic social but not seeing results?
Add a small paid budget to amplify your best performing organic content. Even $50 can give you data on what actually works. Then double down on that.
And if they don't have a website yet?
Build one. Today. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it has to exist, and it has to be optimized for search. 27% of small businesses are invisible online because they skipped this step.
I keep coming back to this idea that growth isn't about doing one big thing. It's about doing a lot of small things consistently and letting them compound.
The research calls it gradual scaling with stage-appropriate strategies. You can't jump from first to last. You have to build momentum step by step.
Which is frustrating for anyone who wants instant results.
Sure, but the businesses that succeed long-term are the ones that treat growth as a system, not a series of isolated tactics. They integrate SEO with content marketing. They balance paid and organic social. They optimize for the metrics that actually matter.
And they adapt when the algorithm changes.
Because the algorithm will always change. But if your foundation is solid, good content, clear niche, data-driven decisions, you can weather those changes.
Okay, last question. What's the biggest mistake you see businesses making right now?
Chasing vanity metrics. They obsess over follower count and likes instead of focusing on dwell time, completion rate, and actual conversions. The numbers that look impressive on a screen don't always translate to revenue.
So stop counting followers and start counting engaged viewers.
1,000 followers who watch your videos all the way through are worth way more than 10,000 followers who scroll past without stopping.
Jordan, this has been a reality check. I think a lot of people are going to rethink their entire social strategy after hearing this.
Good. Because the landscape has changed, and businesses that don't adapt are going to get left behind.
To sum up, followers don't guarantee reach anymore. Dwell time and completion rate are the metrics that matter. Integrate paid and organic for maximum ROI, and build a solid SEO foundation before you do anything else.
And remember, growth is gradual. Assess where you are, pick strategies that fit your current stage, and scale step by step.
Thanks for breaking this down. I'll catch you next time.
See you then.